All right, so today we're going to dive into this really interesting tool. It calls itself an AI thought catcher. So, what does that actually mean? And more importantly, could it be the key to getting you unstuck? Let's get into it.
You know that feeling, right? It's so frustrating. You've got the plan, you know the next step you're supposed to take, but you just don't. It feels like there's this invisible wall. So, what is actually going on in that gap between knowing what to do and, actually doing it?
And this quote right here, it just nails it. The problem isn't some deep flaw in you or in your strategy. It's something way faster, almost invisible. It's just a single thought, this flicker of doubt that comes in and completely sabotages you before you're even consciously aware it's happening. And that leads us to the big idea here. If you're feeling stuck, the solution probably isn't another course or a new productivity hack. The real issue, and this means the real solution, is all about awareness. It's about learning to finally see the things that are tripping you up. Yeah, see, it's not some big, dramatic act of self-sabotage. It's this quiet, instant hijacking. Some random thought just pops in, totally reroutes what you intended to do, and boom, the moment to act is gone. And you're just left there wondering, why didn't I just do the thing? And here's where it really shows up in the day-to-day, especially if you're a creator or an entrepreneur. It's that tiny pause before you hit publish. It's when you water down your sales pitch at the last second, or that moment you pull back right when you're about to gain some real momentum. See? These aren't strategy problems at all. They are thought problems. And here's the really crucial part. It's the speed. It happens so fast. We only ever notice the aftermath, right? The procrastination, the anxiety, the full-on spiral. But by then, it's way too late. That first domino has already fallen, and the chain reaction has already set you way off course. So if the problem is a thought that's just too fast to see, how in the world do you catch it? Well, this is where the whole idea of a thought catcher comes in. It's an AI tool built for one specific purpose, to give you that real-time awareness that you've been missing. So what is Ava really? Okay, it's not another to-do list or a productivity app. Think of it more like a personal awareness system. Its entire job is to help you notice your own thinking as it's happening, in real time. It's all about creating that critical little bit of space between a negative thought and the emotional spiral that usually follows. And I think this is a really important distinction. Look on the left. It's a gentle support. It's there to help you see yourself clearly. But now look at the right. It is explicitly not an authority. It's designed to be a mirror, not a manager. It's never going to tell you what to do. It's just going to help you finally hear what you're already telling yourself. So its core function is just to surface these thoughts, to bring them up from the murky depths and into the light, so you can finally see exactly what's been disconnecting you from your confidence, from your clarity, and from that forward momentum you're looking for. Okay, so that covers the what and the why. So now let's talk about the how. How do you actually start using a tool like this without it feeling like another chore? Well, they lay out this really simple plan for your first 72 hours. And here it is. The first thing you'll notice is that this is not some massive, life-changing commitment from day one. It's broken down into these small, totally manageable chunks. The goal isn't to transform your life overnight. It's just to build a small, consistent practice to get a little momentum and start trusting this whole process of self-awareness. So let's break this down. Day one is really just about opening the door. You get set up, you choose your power word, which is basically a quick trigger to break a thought pattern, and then you do your first totally unfiltered brain dump, just to clear out all the noise. Day two is all about finding a rhythm. And by day three, you're not just dumping your thoughts anymore, you're starting to become a detective, looking for the patterns.
Okay, now we get to the really tough part, right? The place where most new habits go to die. Consistency. But this whole approach argues it's not about gritting your teeth and just forcing it with willpower. So if it's not willpower, then what is it? The answer is anchors. Yeah. So instead of trying to force a new habit, which always feels like you're pushing a giant boulder uphill, you anchor it to something you already do every single day. You create this trigger, something like making your morning coffee, that just pulls the new habit along with it. It makes it feel almost effortless. And this little table lays out the whole strategy. You've got two anchors based on your routine, one in the morning, triggered before you dive into email and social media, and one in the evening, while your phone is charging. But then you've got the most powerful one, the SOS anchor. This one is situational. It's your lifeline for any high-stakes moment when you feel that doubt creeping in. And speaking of that SOS anchor, there's actually a specific protocol for it. You can think of this as your emergency brake for a runaway train of thought. So when you feel that spiral starting, you don't even have to think. You just follow these steps. So what does it look like? Step 1, you type in your power word to signal for help. Step 2, you ground yourself physically. Step 3, you just get it all out, totally unfiltered. Then Ava guides you with questions. And this last step, step 5, is so important. You capture the pattern. The goal here is brilliant. It's not to never spiral again. It's to build the muscle to get back to center faster each time. So you do all this, what's the actual payoff? Well, it's what the guide calls the inner shift. It's this idea that real lasting change in your business and in your life, it comes from stabilizing your internal world first. And this quote from a user, wow, her name is Netta. She's a 61-year-old nursing manager, and she said, "I feel like I'm standing differently inside my life now." Just think about that for a second. That's not about hitting some metric. That's a fundamental shift in her internal posture, in her very sense of self. You see, this isn't about chasing some temporary motivational high, which we all know just fades. This is about building a solid, stable inner foundation. Because when you're not constantly being knocked off balance by your own thoughts, you can finally build something that actually lasts. And this is where that inner stability pays off in the real world. You finally start backing your own ideas. That constant need to compare your journey to someone else's, it starts to fade. You can state your prices with confidence. You make a decision, and then you just move on without that endless second guessing. You become grounded. And from that place, being consistent stops feeling like a struggle, and it starts feeling natural. So if you boil this entire thing down to just one core idea, this is it. It's not about fighting your thoughts or forcing yourself to be positive. Real, lasting change happens in that tiny, powerful moment when you simply catch the thought and decide for yourself who's really running the show.
And that leaves us with just one final question to think about. If you had this ability, this superpower to see your thoughts right as they were showing up, what's the very first thought you would choose to catch?